Hello, hi. So if you have ever played video games or you've played chess and you've wondered how the ranking system works, the ELO system, you should watch this video. Or if you've seen The Social Network and wondered what the hell he wrote on his dorm window, you should also watch this video. Because today we're talking about the ELO system, mainly in chess, but it also applies to video games and a bunch of other rating systems. So what is the ELO system? Well, two players are assigned a value based on like how good they are, right? So in chess, a grandmaster would have an ELO of like 2,500, right? And then an intermediate player would have an ELO rating of like 1,100. And how the ELO system works is if there's a super huge disparity in between the levels of the two players, then there's going to be a lot higher like ELO jumps after a match, right? So if the 2,500 GM lost against the 1,100 player, both of their ratings would change very drastically. However, if the 1,100 was playing like a 1,400, their ELO change would be affected a lot less. Okay, so let's get into an actual example. Let's say two people are playing chess, right? Person A and person B. So let's say A has a rating, so RA equals, let's say they're 1,000. Okay, and let's say RB, the rating of person B is 1,400, right? So person B is better by a pretty decent margin. So like right off the bat, if two people were playing, we'd assume player B would win, right? They're a much more favorite to win, but player A could potentially win the match. So how do we figure out how to change their ELO after a match? Well, the formulation for it is first you figure out the expected outcome. So we can determine a probability that each player wins, and the common formula is this. So the expected outcome for player A is 1 over 1 plus 10 to the power of RB minus RA divided by 400. Okay, now you might be able to see that I chose these numbers for a specific reason. But anyway, so 1 over 1 plus 10 to the power of RB minus RA over 400. So we can see right here that the rating disparity is taken into account for this formula. So if the rating disparity is super huge, then this is going to be a much larger number, and so this probability is going to be a lot lower, the probability that the lower person wins. So let's actually plug in our values here. So this is going to be 1 over 1 plus 10 to the power of 1,400 minus 1,000 divided by 400.